Hi, I'm a lawyer. As a lawyer, it's my job to lie. It's my job as a lawyer to lie better than anyone else can lie. I lie to everyone. I lie to judges. I lie to my wife. I lie to my children. I lie to society. I lie and I lie and I lie. And I always lie for money. That's the job of a lawyer. We try to justify our lying by saying that, hey, it's legal grounds. It's what justice is all about. If you can argue your point, that's what it's about. Reality is made of words. The more words you can use, the more you can manipulate reality, the more power you can gain. I'm a lawyer. You should give me your money, because if you don't, I'll take it anyway. As we know, and as we've already covered in the previous season of patrolling, we know that if you're going to get yourself a blue-collar job, the best way to dress is as determined. You have a white t-shirt and blue jeans, running shoes, nothing too descript, everything's very standard, something that anyone can wear. But if you're going to be working in an urban environment, get yourself a nice office job, what do you wear? How do you make sure you go as WOG as you can without, falling into the consumer trap that's been laid out before you? What I'm wearing here is a very basic example of WOG urban office attire. You have a very simple black blazer, can be acquired anywhere, black pants, black shoes, simple watch if you're not using a PDA option, as I'm one of the few people that do. You can hide your PDA, whatever, but I'll go through the kit as such, starting from top to bottom. Generally, if you're going to be interviewed by core political states and you wish to infiltrate their organization, it's a good idea to look like what they want. They want someone with no soul. They don't want anyone with any individuality. That is not what they want. If you go in there looking like you've got your own thoughts and ideas and grandiose schemes, they're not going to be interested in that. What they want is mindless, soulless drones. That's why, they medicate the world and try to make people into these zombies who just, work and live and that's it. So that's what you want to portray to them going in. Now, the way I've got this orchestrated is very nondescript. You have a short, cropped haircut, not too militant, not so, shaggy, very neat, very trim. Could be anything, a little bit of gel in there, slick it back. Glasses, a little bit of retro. These are a little bit racy, but you might be able to get away with that. Generally, maybe something without frames if you're going to go for glasses. Clean shaven, very important to be clean. You want to have your nails trimmed and short. Your blazer should be a simple black 3-button blazer. Black tie, white shirt. The advantage of going with a black tie and a white shirt is that you don't need to worry about things like accessorizing your tie. People judge you by, if you're not broadcasting who you are, they begin to look at certain things about you to determine the kind of person you are. They'll look to your tie. They see what kind of tie, what kind of patterns on the tie. If I'm wearing this outfit and I have a Spider-Man tie, well, that's going to very obviously reveal the kind of person I am. Don't give away anything for free. They have no right to know anything about you. Simple black tie. The most important areas of your shirt, you want to make sure your collar is pressed and the cuffs must always be pressed. These are the areas you iron first and foremost because that's what people look at, the collar and at the cuffs. Have a simple tie knot within there. Once you get a little bit deeper, you can hide things a little bit more openly. Your shoes, we'll get to the shoes in a minute. Your shirt, underneath your shirt, you always wear a white t-shirt under your dress shirt. There's nothing more disgusting than some clown walking around with big sweat stains in their armpits. It's gross. Okay, do whatever you gotta do. Burn your armpits with hot irons if you have to, but don't walk around with sweat stains. It's fucking gross and it stinks. But for God's sakes, don't use any of that weird shit they put in your armpits that gives you cancer. No, that's bad too. So the best way to get around this is just wear a simple white only, no logos, undershirt. Very, very easy to get, can be picked up at any discount store, what have you. Simple belt, simple buckle. You can trim the belt down. Generally, you want to probably put a little bit of shoe polish on your belt to keep it a little more trimmed up, make it appear a little bit more shiny, but usually you keep your blazer on, nobody sees what's on your belt. Now, your absolute minimum, your minimum WOG line kit that everybody carries with them no matter where they go, you got to have your comms. You want to have your cell phone mounted. Make sure your antenna, if you do a horizontal mount, is pointed backwards, because if it's pointed forwards, you're going to hook on everything as you brush by it. It's a real pain in the ass. So what you want to do is make sure your cell phone is in there, mounted backwards. I use a Maxpedition cell phone holder for that. I find that they're pretty solid, and it's fairly streamlined. Move around to the back of your belt line kit. There's the essentials you always have with you. You have your flashlight, you have your paratool, and you have a lighter. These are always with you no matter where you go. In your pockets, you want to pack as light as you can so you keep your wallet and, of course, your knife. You want to keep these with you at all times as well. Now, with these documentation, if you need to carry a bag, which a lot of WOGs do, but bear in mind you're in an urban environment. There's lots of stuff around, so you can get away with just carrying straight cash. But if you have to, you can carry a briefcase. Don't get really flashy briefcase. Don't get a briefcase that says I'm this or I'm that. Those solid aluminum ones, they're nice, they're pricey, but again, you're broadcasting a lot of information about yourself. You got to be careful with that. So generally though, you'll notice that you try to keep it as streamlined as you can. Don't have a lot of bags with you, because then they don't know if you're traveling far, they don't know if you're traveling near, they don't know if you're working close by. Nobody knows anything about you. Down to your pants, simple black slacks. That's all you need. Try to keep the wrinkles out of them. You do the best you can. Your shoes now. The things that people will judge you on are your shoes first and foremost, but if you don't give them any information, they look down at your shoes, there's no obvious make, no obvious name, they're just shoes. That's all they are. So what's the next thing they're going to go after? The watch. Everyone judges you by your shoes, your watch, and by your suit name. If they can't get any names or labels off you, they're going to start looking for pens. They're going to start looking in your pockets and stuff to see who you are and what you're about. But you're nothing. You're gray. Any watch you buy, if you're not using a reputer or something like that, which is risky now. People are looking, oh, you've got tech on you. What are you doing with that tech? Very, very risky. So if you get yourself a watch, make sure it's plain, very plain. Something that just has just a face, a little bit of numbers on it, and no real fancy crap going on. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it. You can pick it up anywhere. Dressing as such, you could walk into any office tower anywhere in Vancouver and look like you belong, or in any city around the world. Vancouver, California, New York, this will pass anywhere in an urban environment. So for the WOG, this is camouflage.
Hi there, I'm a businessman. It's my job to make money, and I have no moral guidelines whatsoever about how I make that money. Being a businessman means that you just generate cash. Business is money. Now, the way I get that money is I farm it from you. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but that doesn't matter. There's a million different business plans and a million different ways that I can come down into society and I can get your cash. So let's get past all that. Why don't you just give me your money straight away and we'll move past all the hoopla and the advertising and everything else. Because realistically, the market is what rules the world. Everybody knows it. Everybody works for the businessman. So you should work for me too. Why don't you just give me your money now? We'll skip all the foreplay. I'm a businessman. You should give me your money.
In today's breakneck world, time is a funny thing. Everyone seems to want more time, but really what they're saying is they'd like to be able to do what they want with their time. There's no way to get more or less time. Time is just sort of this measurement, and because we've chosen to measure it by seconds, it gives the illusion that there's a timeline, or there's some kind of there's a future and a past. I don't personally believe there is anything really like a past timeline or a future timeline. I think there's only now and what's about to be now and what was now. And it's like a reaction that's constantly happening. There's no trail or anything like that. Some people talk about moving through time and timelines and all that kind of jazz. Well, that stuff is a little dodgy to me, and quite frankly, is a little bit beyond me in math. So all I'm really going to address is how to factor for your time so that you regain control of your time. People say there's company time and there's personal time. That's bullshit. It's all your time. You're just choosing to spend it at the company, and then the company says, oh, well, that's our time now. No, it's not. What happens when works is that you're under a contract where I provide this service to you, and you give me money for it. Whether that service is sweeping the floor or giving a blowjob, the result is that I will be paid money compared to what it is I do and the inherent value as such. Now, what happens is that when we get jobs, suddenly, even if we're not working with the public, or even if we're, behind some closed doors somewhere where there's just, 10 people in the office, suddenly you can't wear an earring. Suddenly you can't wear a t-shirt that no one else objects to. And why is that? Well, it's against company policy. Now, what does your company policy have to do with me? Nothing. I'm providing you your service. Leave me be. That's another rant. Back to your time and understanding how to utilize your time. Work is productive because they have mastered the art of time. They know how to cut your bathroom breaks down to 5 minutes. Make sure you only get 15 minutes off if you're lucky, and you'll get like a little lunch break that's half an hour. This is all based very carefully around utilizing your time. And by the end of the day, they've beaten you so hard with your time constraints that you're generally exhausted. Only got enough energy to stumble home, flop down on the couch, and maybe get programmed for a little while with mass consumerism through the idiot box. So the way you overcome that is to gain more time. You have 24 hours in a day. That's where it starts. It starts with a 24-hour day. And there's certain things you need to do every day. Now, the way you achieve the things you want to do, everyone wants to work out. Everyone knows they should eat right. But how do they do that? Things turn from dreams into plans when you have a course of action laid out before you. The trick is making that course of action and making one that works. Quite often, we'll get any series of items and devices that will allow us to factor for our time, but we either do it too much or too little, or we lose interest. Because it's too much hassle, me tracking everything I do in a day. So I've got my own sort of time management system that lets me accomplish the things that I try to do. And I'll try to relate that to you now. First of all, whenever you're doing any kind of planning, you got to understand there's 3 things that you will do. And no matter what they are, they fall into one of these 3 categories. It's either falls into the mind category, the body category, or the spirit category. These categories are taken from yoga: mind, body, spirit. It's all part of the triangle of being human. You've got your mind, your body, and your spirit. If one of these is out of whack, the whole triangle's out of whack, and people get a little screwy. I'll go over each one. Your mind, naturally, is mental feed, the information you put into your brain, rationalization, intellectual thinking. And some people go, well, how do you feed your mind? Well, you read, for starters. If you can't read because you don't have the time to read, you're lying to yourself. You need to factor some time for reading. But we'll get into that. If you can't get into the reading, there's lots of very, very educational media out there that you could be programming your mind with. If you want to go with the fictional stuff, take some stuff with a more philosophical bend to it. Some Japanese anime goes that way. If you want to take stuff that has a little bit more historical bend, lots of DVDs are commercially available now. You can purchase anywhere. You could actually give yourself a complete history of a particular country if you wanted to, all through DVDs. It's light through technology. It's a brilliant, brilliant way to educate yourself, and I highly advise it. So you want to make sure that you have certain things you do during the day that balance each of these things off. If all you ever do is live in your mind, however, by watching all these shows, your body gets out of whack. You become out of shape, you feel horrible, you get sick. These all cause problems. And of course, the spiritual angle. The spiritual angle is something that not a lot of people give credence to. The mind and body are great, but how many people do you know are like, yeah, I got a good paying job, and well, I make good money, and I'm eating well, I'm eating right, but something's missing in my life. That's what a lot of religious groups prey on. Oh, I can see there's a void in your life, and we'll fill that void. And that void is different for everyone. Some people, they say that our brains are hardwired to believe in some greater cosmic good. And I think that's a good thing. Why not? It gives us a sense of morals and ethics. So your spiritual path, generally, I would consider something like meditation. Meditation could be anything. It could be prayer. It could be chanting. It could just be sitting quietly and considering what it is to be human and to be alive. Maybe for the first few times you do it, you don't get anything out of it. All you have to do is sit and breathe and empty your head. That's one form of meditation. Prayer is another form of meditation. Chanting is another form of meditation. Do some investigation. I can't give you a magic pill to give you your spiritual significance, but I can definitely point you in the right direction. So moving down past this, everything fits into one of these 3 categories. So as you plan out your day, try to keep these balanced as well. Now, in a 24-hour period, there's certain things you need to do. It's a necessity. For example, you need to sleep. If you're not sleeping, then you've got problems. So you factor sleeping. How long are we going to spend sleeping? I'm going to go with 7 hours. If you go high on one thing, go high on your sleep. Because if you wake up early and you get to work faster, like say you want to get up at 7 in the morning, you wake up at 6 in the morning, suddenly you gain an hour in your day. And everything seems less rushed. You must also eat. Most people should spend about, I'd say, depending on how many meals you eat a day, which should be between 5 and 6 small meals. You could take it about 20 minutes a piece. 6 times 20 is about 2 hours worth of eating. So we're going to go 2 hours. Sleep 7, 2. So 7 and 2 is 9. Exercise, we're going to exercise for 1 hour. That makes 10. Reading, we'll get back to that. Bathing, everybody should bathe every day. If you're not bathing every day, that's disgusting. Okay, so we're going to call it 30 minutes for bathing. Okay, if you have pets, they need to be exercised. For me, I have to exercise pets. So that means that, in nomine, il sanctus, rangerus, I'll say I exercise my dog for about 2 hours a day. Work for others. Let's see. Well, I work an 8-hour shift generally, so I'll say 8 hours here. Work for myself. I do about 3 hours a night on my radio program. And you have to have contact. And contact is contact with the people you care about. No man or woman is an island unto themselves. Yet, every man and woman is an island unto themselves. I can't feel what other people are feeling. I can't, if I eat, they don't sate their hunger. So in essence, you are truly alone, but it is very important that you have real face-to-face communication with people. It is important that you get out there and unplug from the box. Role-playing game scenarios, gaming group sessions, those are good things to do with that. Sometimes playing a card game, sometimes hanging out with your parents, maybe a sibling. Or, if you're like me, you mostly spend a lot of your time with your friends who've become like your family because through one way or another, you're not as close as your family as you could be. And these are all important. You must maintain just a little bit of that, maybe, if not every day, then at least once a week. I mean, you have to, otherwise you lose yourself and you lose what it is to be you. So after you add all these things up, let's see, I got 19 and 8 is, 27, and 2 is 29, and 3 is 31, and 30. So out of a 24-hour day, I basically work 31 hours. And 31 and a half hours. Yeah, that's pretty much how my days work. And this is achieved through hacking your watch so that it runs slower. No, I'm kidding. What you have to do next is you have to factor for what you're doing wrong. How is it? Obviously you're rushed because you think that you have to spend 31 hours worth of your time in a 24-hour span. This is where, rather than planning one day, you look at a 7-day span and separate your time into hour blocks. So you have the morning, which goes from, say, from when you wake up to, your afternoon. Then you have your lunch period, you have your afternoon period, your evening period, and then your night period. It is better to sleep at night. Okay, between the hours of 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning is when your body is biologically trying to rest. This is why when the military plans attacks, generally they do them between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Conversely, between the hours of 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, quite often people get like the blahs, the afternoon blahs. Either they're lunch drunk because they've eaten food that causes all the circulation to go to their stomach and they're not eating a bunch of small meals during the day. So their metabolism slows down, everybody gets sluggish, and they jack themselves with caffeine to get the production up. So if you can, this is a very, very quick way of going through this. And again, a lot of people have different planning methods, but through routine, through doing the same thing every day. If you exercise for, say, 30 minutes a day, even if you're going for a walk, you're doing that every day. And all you have to do is have a routine, even if it's not that productive, even if you want to be better, start with working with the routine. You can use a notepad, Palm Pilots, your computer. I use my watch. And I use my watch because it has alarms. Because I get so involved in the things I'm doing, and people go, I hate living by a watch. Yes, but it's by your watch. You're not living by a watch, you're living by a will, and you're living by your own will. If you have a job that you hate, and you find that you start factoring your time, that's only 8 hours of your day, or maybe 10 hours, depending on what kind of shift you have, but we'll assume it's an 8-hour day. Well, you still got another, 16 hours to do with your day as you see fit. You sleep for 6 of it. That gives you 10 hours a day, or 7 hours, depending on what you want to go. I advise people to do 8 hours. No one's going to do 8 hours. Everyone's going to do between 6 hours and 8 hours. But you should sleep 8 hours. I don't, but I should. Because, that's my name's Sean Kennedy, and I'm the fucking man, and I have to do all this stuff. Otherwise, you can't get ahead. They say that if you want to get some other daylight in your life, you got to get some moonlight in there, too. And that's true. It's hard. It's hard. If you want to just be a drone and do your own thing, that's fine. But if you want to take charge of your life, you're going to need a time schedule. So like I said, my name's Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man. Some people say there is mind, body, and spirit. Now, if you don't believe in the spirit, then you very definitely have to believe in the mind and body because there is no spirit. Regardless of whether you believe there's mind, body, and spirit, you cannot deny that the body is foremost important on this particular realm of existence. We need to look after ourselves. We need to physically make sure that we are fit. And this is something that has been completely lost upon modern culture, is that nobody talks about what it is to be fit. Now, there's all kinds of people willing to take money from you and sell you all kinds of contraptions and meal and food and mixes in order to make you fit. And the whole purpose of it is to decrease the amount of effort that you have to put into it. Unfortunately, there is no magic bullet. There is no way to make you fit without a certain degree of suffering. Exercise sucks. There is no way about it. There is no shortcut. Even if you were to do steroids, all steroids do is allow your muscles to heal faster. But you still have to punish yourself in order to, well, damage the muscles so that they'll heal faster. As a matter of fact, there's more suffering if you do the steroids than if you don't, because you have to work out more. Dealing with generally the WOG populace, there's a lot of us who disgustingly are overweight, myself included. And we need to get ourselves in some sort of running shape. Now the question is why? Why? It's one thing to say, I'd like to be in better shape, but you think, why should I be in better shape? Well, mind, body, spirit. If you work on your mind and work on your body, if you believe in the spirit, that will also get healthy. If you don't believe in the spirit, if you work on your body, then conversely your mind will become healthy. You have to build up your body's level of fitness. It's something you have to do. If you don't do that, then how can you possibly hope to function at any kind of optimum level? It won't make sense. Now, you can check all the references anywhere. One of the best ways to get in shape is to actually move. And the easiest, cheapest way to get in shape is to run. This is why the US Army, this is why armies all over the world are crazy about running. Yes, it is hard on your joints. Yes, but your legs are for running. That's what they're for. So if you start slow by walking, maybe doing hikes, doing whatever, you will be able to build up the strength and gradually you'll be able to run. This is very easy to do. Do it in the morning. Get your ass out of bed, get it around the block. There are no scales. There is nothing to compare it to. You don't compare yourself to me. You don't compare yourself to like Carl Lewis or someone like that. You have to just have your own scale, and every time you get out of bed and get around the block, I don't care if you crawl around the block the first time, it's a personal victory every day. Doesn't matter the quantity, it matters the consistency. It matters how often you do it. Get around the block. Just get around the block. Walk. First little while, after 3 weeks, eventually you'll be bored with walking around the block, and you'll run 10 steps. Then you'll run 20 steps. And before you do it, you'll do the first lap around the block, and you'll run the whole way, and you won't be winded, and you'll be like, holy cow, I deserve a trophy. And it'll be your own personal victory. But you can't talk about it with anyone. You can't work out with anyone because it's a very personal thing. This is body maintenance. You should approach the same way you approach maintaining anything. You wouldn't let your computer get way out of whack and all, screwy and with all files broken everywhere and just generally bloated. So why should you be that way? Yes, it's hard. Yes, it sucks. It totally sucks. So the only way you can make it not suck is to maybe not eat food that's totally loaded with fat. That's number one, because that's huge. Okay, so try to, drink water, get rid of the pop. That'd be a big step if you did that. If I could stop all the wogs from drinking pop, holy cow, I would have achieved the world. But if you can eat some healthy food every now and again, stuff that's maybe low in fat, and just go for a walk every morning before you eat. Anything you do in the morning before you eat is 500% more effective. So let's say you do a block in the morning before you eat and you actually manage to run. That would be the equivalent to running 5 blocks if you'd eaten like a bowl of cereal and then run. Because we're trying to get the body mass down, we're trying to get the physical fitness level up, trying to get your cardio up. And it's different from lifting weights because when you lift weights, you're able to lift heavy things, but when you run, you're able to move, doing any practical escape and evasion. Any real-world application for physical and fitness is probably going to include running. It is an ultimate exercise that builds up your capability to move. It takes down your body mass very, very quickly, I might add, and it works on your cardio. It's a brilliant way to work out, and best of all, it's free. It's totally free. Anyone who runs on the road will tell you that running on a treadmill is very different from running on a road. So I totally don't think anyone should have treadmills at all. Why should you? I mean, are you so confined that you can't actually go for a run around your block? Why in the hell would you need to buy $1,000 piece of equipment just to run? The street's right outside. The reason why they sell the treadmills is because it's cathartic. We feel better if we bought the treadmill because that way all of a sudden, we're already losing weight. No, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You just need to go out, go for a run around the block, do it first thing in the morning. That's all you need to do. If you do that, even if you can't run, people go, I can't run, I hate running. Okay, fine. Waddle around the block. Walk around the block. Just get your ass around the block. And all those suckers walking by in cars be like, look at that guy, he's walking on the side. Yeah, but you're driving, guy. People have to start somewhere. Everywhere starts somewhere. I was sucking wind hard first few times I went around. You can better believe that. But you watch yourself on camera for a little while, you become very acutely aware of how out of shape you are, especially when people are making fun of you. But truth be told, we all have to get in shape, because if we get in shape and get our bodies healthy, healthy body, healthy mind, that's the WOG way. My name's Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man.